Hello. Hey. Today I'll be going over one of my favorite tier 10 media tanks in the game, and it is the UDES 1516. Oh, what I like about this tank, what I don't like about this tank is the two things. It's the slow shell velocity, a little bit lower pen, I guess it's three things then. So it's a little bit lower pen, and that the side scraping is not super effective, but it makes do. What I do like about this tank is its mobility, the alpha, the reload, the armor on the cooldown capabilities, as we will be showcasing here as we're going in the northern part of the map. I like the gun handling of it. It's a small circle, as you can see when we're moving around here. Fast aim time. It's very few things that I actually don't like about this tank. And also, well, one more other thing that I don't like about it is that you can get set up frontal fire. But I mean, details. I like this tank. All right, it punches a hole in the tank. As you can see, this UDES is already taking 2 hits by us. And now we get into this UDES versus UDES combat where you aim for the viewport. A small viewport. For me, it's on the right side. For him, it's on the right side as well. But you can see how you can. It's just a small slit that you try to hit. So this is the UDES versus UDES confrontation, where, well, whoever clicks fastest usually prevails, and you just try to hide all the time. So I realize here that, well, I can't really do damage on him, he can't really do damage on me. We're two equal opposite forces collides, and, nothing happens. Crappy shot by me. I should have maybe aimed a little bit better here. Shooting the 268 lowers plate. But anyway, the tank in itself has a 440 alpha, if you did not know. The standard pen is 254, the heat pen is 310, and the HE is some undisclosed figure that you barely use, only you use it when, you're fighting something that has no armor. So, it does not matter. It's low pen. But what you have a kind of a really good gun handling. You have a 034 dispersion like standard, but that's a cheating shot. I mean, we don't have to go into detail how that pen, but it did pen. But anyway, it has kind of a good dispersion with a good aim time, and the tank doesn't really have a big bloom at all. So you have this kind of a constantly good aim with it. What you see here also is that I have fully bonded this tank with the vert stab, rammer, and ventilation. So this is a little bit, tip of the top, and that's how much I like this tank. I like to kit it up fully. And I don't know how many people have done that with this tank, but I have not met anyone yet, so maybe I'm the only one. I mean, feel free to share if you also like the UDES 1516 as much as I do. The tank in itself, like, it has this, like, little bit 430U E50M all around type-ish tank. Except it does not side scrape, so yeah, I guess you can scratch it all around. But I like to still call it into an all-around, sort of heavily armored medium tank. And this packs a big pretty punch. And here, I actually do not notice the projectors until they're already on top of them. So I'm backing up so far up, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't need to back up, there's a flanking coming, so let's go forward. But I'm a little bit late to the party, and I failed to realize that. And here we're gonna help the projector by turning the other UDES around. Alright, one up on that UDES. As we do, we spot the phase 1, but I decided I wanna go for some easy farming, easy damage, so we're just gonna reverse back. Poor projector could not get away, was tracked. And we don't get any easy farming at all. So scratch what I just said, we go back to the phase 1. Yes, nothing has happened. Nope, no ally died because of my greediness. Nope, not at all. Nope, nay, no, nay, nicht, nein. And now we get into another cooldown fight versus a phase 1 this time. We have the cupola sticking up. Close hitting that, but we are very hard to hit here as well. Trying to see if we can't. No lower plate, no upper plate to pen on. Nah, we're satisfied with the cupola. can be tricky hitting the cupola of the phase 1. It's sort of far back on the turret, very small target. Trying to aim at the gun. Tragic. Could not hit that one. Sometimes when you aim at the gun at different certain angles of how the phase 1 turns, you can actually pen it very easily. And that shot, we take that later, discuss this later. Oof, that's a nasty shot on the phase 1. It's one of the side, like it's like a bowl of the side of the phase 1. Oh, T103 pick popping up. I guess we'll pop one into him as well. It's basically the side turret. You can see there, the side turret. Just below it has this like bowl shape sticking out. And sometimes if you oversize scope with the phase 1, you just poof, easy smack that. But here we got a Kunstpanzer. We kind of rounding up the team. We had a whooping of 5,600 damage so far, and I think we kind of dictate good here. The only the only mistake we did was backing off too far when the projectiles were coming in for the flank. If you stay close, I think you would have picked up 2 more shells there maybe. And it seems there's only a level left on this map. How about that? It went quite quickly, this fight actually. Was a lot of raw pack action immediately, as I tried to explain how this tank is. But I just like this tank a lot. Oh, another bad thing about the tank. It's kind of a flat bed, so when artillery finds you, ouch. It can be big ouch. But hey, we got a free love here. Let's see if we can, you know, score up some a little bit higher damage. Please don't tell other people that we're farming AFK. Alright, this lobby put up a valiant fight against us. We dodged, weaved, moved around, and there we have it, the final kill of the battle. We take it. Good game. But more about this tank, and more about this game when we go into post stats, and then onto the garage. I'll see you there. We scored in a 7,087 damage, 3 kills, 414 peasant damage. We clocked in an ace tanker, a high caliber on that. We did only get 1,227 base XP. It was enough for an ace tanker, so I guess it's pretty okay. For a detailed report, we only earned 32,000 credits. I mean, I wouldn't say only, it's not a premium tank, but we did relatively okay. But more about the tank in itself in the garage. And in the garage, we will like always go over the crew, the equipment, consumables and ammunition, and then field modification. Let's start off with the crew like always. For the commander, is Brothers in Arms, 6th Sense, Situational Awareness, Recon, and then Repair. Whew, it's 5. It's very heavy on the crew here because we only got 3, so we need to have a really good commander for this to really work, in my opinion. The 6 skills onwards is you pick concealment and firefighting and then whatever, so essentially. The gunner, we go with the Brothers in Arms, snapshot, repair, and then concealment. I value concealment on this tank quite highly. But the thing about the gunner is that you're gonna use that person in the crew as your loader. So if you want to pick safe stowage, you want to pick the intuition, you gotta use that on the gunner. Because the driver is also stacked full with all the jummy potter you want. And here you go, Brothers in Arms, smooth ride, repair, concealment. And then I actually pick firefighting. But here is where I would actually have picked off-road driving. But the firefighting is also important on this tank because of the frontal fire that can happen, the frontal engine problem that we have on this tank. But let's go over the equipment phase. I adore this tank. I have it fully bonded up because I really like it. I like it a lot. Did I say I like it? I think I said I like it. I like it. But for a standard equipment, you can do exactly the same. Ventilation, rammer, and vertical stabilizer. You still get full view range if you have a 4-skill commander with recon and situational awareness. You can also have a secondary equipment, and either you pick the turbocharge, depending on your field modification, or you pick the optics, just to get the full view range. And then you can pick different in the field modification. It's sort of a different sort of way you can play with this tank. But it's actually can be a good spotter because the concealment is really good on this tank that I have. I have it 38 and I don't even have it maxed out in camouflage, but it's really good. So concealment is something to watch out for with this tank. And then we go into the consumables part. I have it flat out same here. We have, you know, no firefighting, automatic fire extinguisher, even though it would be good on this tab because of the frontal fire that can happen. And believe me, when artillery hit you and on your flatbed here, ouch, as I've been set on fire many times. Not so many times, couple of times. Let's say numerous times. But ammunition-wise, I go with 50-50. It's just easy, simple to do that. You kind of need to have the APCR and heat with this tank. You don't go one or the other because you need the APCR for the long-range sniping, actually. The heat you need for that extra little pen, like always. But you do tend up to be kind of close up and personal with it, so it tends to be a lot of heat spam. I don't know. Second, maybe if I have the full field modification unlocked, I would probably go 1 build more APCR, 1 build more heat. But I also figure out that a lot of my battles, it's been quite even in how I do things. But let's go into the juicy part, the field modification. Here, we do like always, modular durability increase. We have really good gun traverse and hull traverse, we pick that. The second one, we pick the better aiming circle, like always. It beats out the dispersion minus that you get. Then we get to the interesting part. If we go with optics build, we pick... No, that was not that. Here I would pick the concealment because we have already a fast traverse speed on the tank. We are not slow in reverse. 22 is fine. And when it's 20, that is fine. That is good. You get back quickly. You don't need to go 26 reverse. Sure, in the gameplay, we did need to have that slightly faster traverse speed, but it does not outweigh it too much. I value the tank's camo so much on this one, actually. Even though we frontline, we can still hide numerous bushes are hidden with this tank. With the next equipment, that is the juicy part that I talked about. Next field modification that I talked about is the user part with the equipment. So if you go optics, you take this one to be faster, but you don't get the full view range. Like you see, even me, I don't get full view range if I pick this one, so I'll scratch it. But if I go with the turbo build, I kind of want to have this one. So this is where you're going to have this conflict of interest, I would say. But actually, no. If you go with the turbo build and ventilation, you pick the sensitive optics because you will get full view range with this build. And if you don't have it and you don't have ventilation, you do not get full view range, which I highly recommend on a tank like this where you can hide so many places. For the last bit, I would pick the suspension durability in the way that you just don't get tracked that often then. I mean, you do get tracked, but it's not as often. You have a little bit more durability. And we do get the dangerous is 7 second suspension repair time, where people can perma-track us more frequently. But remember, we are a hull-down tank. We don't look too much for side scraping. So it's more like, oh no, the tank has been tracked. What do we do? Well, we press the repair kit. Problem solved. But then again, if you know repair kit, then we're gonna cry a little bit. But we tend to not get into those situations. We want to play hull-down. And, you know, if we get shot and attract, we do want to have it, do the durability there. So it's going to help us out quite immensely. But that was my little review of the UDES 1516, a tank that I really like. I find it wonderful. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for everything. And I'll see you around when I'm out of here.